Oh, weird. Why does the music not end with the timer this time? Hello, Flani. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a happy Tuesday. I think it's Wednesday for you, Flani, right? I don't know if I understand time correctly. I will never understand it. But I was thinking a lot about this case yesterday. I think I understand what happened. Basically, Goodman took the evidence to Gant. Gant killed him at his office on the side of Lena's office, and that's why we have the pool of blood right there. And he took the evidence from him and put it in the safe, and somehow he smuggled that body out of the prosecutor's office and put it in Edgeworth's car. But yeah, that's my theory. But let's see what actually is going on today. Jay is the murderer after all. Maybe. I understand it all. You're smarter than me, Flani. Or maybe you've been reading the guide. Maybe both. Okay, but let's take a look at what's going on here. Why does it ask me for confirmation on load? It almost spooks me into thinking, am I overriding a save? Oh wait, let me make myself a bit smaller. Okay, now we're ready. February 25, 12:06, District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. I think we're on recess, right? Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. I just made myself smaller, funny. Yeah, I really cannot reach the top of my head. How much can I cover of the game? No, can I reach the pie? Can I reach it? Well, I did reach it, but I guess it's already stuck on the head. It's not gonna stick on my hand anymore. I have to catch it while it's falling like that. What was that about being small? Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. No, stay. What did you want to say? Come back. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what was it? I got deflated. You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. Did Lena send him running on my behalf again? And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Did I load the wrong slot, or is he just doing the same thing again? This reminds me of 2 Point Hospital, a hospital management game where people come in with fictional funny diseases such as lightheadedness. Their head turned into a light bulb. Oh my god, I need to see that. I take it Lena's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Evidence law? This is a children's book? It's evidence law for dummies. For me, because I do not really read the big law books. I guess she's gonna be like, well, you got this evidence in, illegal ways, you cannot use it. Here, she asked me to give you this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. And the chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. Into funnies it goes. Thank you. Let me check it out on my phone real quick. Oh my god. I never imagined, having the light bulb head in the bed with your partner. Oh, that's a big problem. Okay. chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. The fix is to unscrew it and grow a new head. Oh my god. Would it be the same person anymore? A message. She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Okay. It doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth? The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You've gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lena didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. All right. February 25, 12:52. District Court, courtroom number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lena Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes. Ahem. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, cough. This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. Oh. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Look at us working like a team. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Uh-oh. I have to call the correct witness? Let me take a look at my evidence law for dummies. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. I don't think I have anything that's approved by the police department, right? The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. I have to call the real murderer, or I have to call a witness that will implicate the real murderer? Let's just go with Ghent. I think we need to actually call the murderer. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir? Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation? So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant? Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests you to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lena's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. What happened to poor Emma? There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this? Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. I think bravery and being foolish kind of can be a very similar thing. You have to be a fool to be brave. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. There he is, threatening me again, in front of everybody. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. Wait, I thought he was going to refuse to testify. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lena there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Drake was arrested? Dark? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear. Clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. after winning this award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was Defendant Lena Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. Didn't Dark take the elevator during the power outage? I thought the power outage happened after he got there. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? Now I wonder, do elevators keep going here when the power is out? Because in my country, when the power is out, the elevators are they don't work, but I don't know. After we moved here, we never experienced power outages that much to actually know if the elevators keep going. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. Was this about a power outage? Oh, that? The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Okay, so they do stop. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart though. So he's saying the power outage made it so he couldn't make it back upstairs while all of this was happening, right? That's not funny. When I went to my office, I found Lena there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. He doesn't know about the spear? How did he know that we concluded Mia was the murderer, but then he's like remembering it with a knife in his chest? Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Oh, right, I remember. It makes sense because he said she arranged the scene. So she took the spear out, she put the knife in. Duh. So that's what he remembers. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lena and Emma. So when it's Marshall, it's funny that he got hit, pierced through, and he was lucky and all of that. But for the girls, they're the poor ones. Lena and Emma. Lena was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? I think if she arranged the scene, she wouldn't put Marshall's body on top of, what's his name? Dark. And have him being stabbed in the back, you know? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lena's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that already stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lena must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. So he is now my Mia. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lena did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Can I even use this? Since, I don't think it was approved by the police department. But if anything links him to it, it would be, the piece of evidence found in his locker. And also the other question is, when do I present it? Let's see. Maybe when he says I had nothing to do with this forgery. Let's save here. Because I have a feeling we're gonna be testing a lot of the evidence to see which one actually triggers our response. Okay, this isn't a failure response. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please? I don't know. You tell me, son. Huh? My dear Raito, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this case? It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Damn it, we failed. Okay. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Okay, at least they didn't deduct some HP. Well, okay, I'll do it just this once. But only because you asked, Gaji. Thank you, I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. This one is registered evidence because we've already used it, so we're gonna be like, we found it in Gant's desk. What happened to the model? Why is it sleepy? Oops. Yeah, let's try this one. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Oh, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Trito? The truth is protecting me again. However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. I thought he was fired. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence you found in your office and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Who is he calling kids? Evidence and forgery. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment. And the list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. So I guess I need to be thinking about when. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I would participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. The when was right after they were transferred, or supposed to be transferred. We know they were stolen before Marshall tried to steal them himself, right? Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Aji, in return though. I know, that place, right? What? What are these guys, telepathic? I feel like they're conspiring right in front of me. Evidence and forgery. I would appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into— No! He fell for it. Into a cattle ranch and tipped— That's right, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof on the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Raido's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Raido. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. What? Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right? The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. The game suddenly being so strict about evidence, yeah, because we have the chief of police in here. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Raido. Think about it. There's no reason I would participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Uh-oh. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. Oops. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, Then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. It's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Okay. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lena's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Point out accomplice. Merry Murderfist. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. I think his benefit is, installing Lena as the chief prosecutor, because he can manipulate her all he wants now, right? Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Chief Prosecutor Lena Sky, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lena? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lena if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lena Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Come on, Aji. Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lena Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lena? For example, is Lena testifying that I've done such a thing? Lena? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she would testify against Gant. But we already know what happened with Emma, so there's no more reason to protect her. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than just conjecture. Unless... That is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lena take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Yes. Order, order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? This is impossible. Prove it. Put him behind bars. Make him drop the soap. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said. I didn't accuse him. It was Edgeworth. Go lecture him, not me. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. Let's save, just in case they don't give me a chance to save at the whatever evidence I need to present. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Jay has to think again. Uh-oh. Yeah. What's up, Meteor? How are you doing? Yeah, I think I might die for real and become a ghost if I fail this one. I am thinking about the screwdriver just because, you know, having Edgeworth go to the evidence room kind of helped, you know, make the case for his innocence or something. I don't think it's time to use this yet. I'd rather not talk about it. I don't know. I did see your announcement in Discord. How goes the case solving? It's going, I think. Is it time to use this? Is it time to fill in the blank right here? I think I will try this. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. I'd rather not talk about it, just follow along in court. What is Ansys 14 out? What does that mean? The one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It is your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. and I did open it. So now I'm just making the case worse for myself about, forging evidence. A 7-digit code. That's the emote without the emote. Oh, I see. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Does the meteor link 187 without the meteor? Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you say? What do you have to say? Nothing. The defense search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you. I blame Blink 182. What? Who is that? About the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? It's a band. Oh, I don't think I've heard of it before. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. I blame J-Link 885. What does this number have any meaning, or is it just random? Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? It has a meaning. Boobs! Damn it, you make me read that out loud. Mercy is always the wrong choice. You had no mercy there. Of course not. Why? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. We need bigger boobs. Flonny is so quick to open that file and Control F. Good out of context clip right there. No. There are no clips. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman because of the evidence transfer. I'm on mobile though. Nice. No clips. I can't stop eating these balls. Oh, damn it, it's getting worse. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lena Sky's guilt. 54 minutes into stream. No, don't take note of that. What are you scheming me here? Do I really have to be the daddy? Damn it. Children of Morta. I remember this one. This trial's purpose is to determine Lena Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? No, I'm not a murderer. I only eat children. I eat children and balls. What do you mean? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. How do I say that he had to meet him because of the evidence transfer? This! I just wonder why he never finished, putting his ID number in. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. So it didn't have to do with the evidence transferal. But with this tiny little slip of paper that can only be submitted to the chief of police. Jay is 2 on 2 now with me typing out a hint and then Jay finding out of the evidence. Pro gamer, a little bit slow, but yes, I'm a good gamer. Hehe. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. Mercy is always the wrong choice. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. So it was related to evidence transferal in a very long-winded way. Quote 80 does not exist. Okay. I completely missed Marshall's death, so the revelation last stream was extra surprising. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Mr. Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way to the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. You could have just lent him his ID card. That is very dangerous to do. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. He just said he only cares about himself, right? So why would he be helping in this way? According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my god! What the hell was that? Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. So I was wrong about where the murder happened, right? I said maybe it was at Lena's office, and that's why we found that pool of blood. But he actually did it at the police department, snuck him out into Edgeworth's car, and then asked Lena to cover it up, right? That still doesn't explain why we found that pool of blood in Lena's office after 2 years of cleaning the office, right? We didn't find any blood on the actual SL9 incident location of the crime, which is weird. If that was cleaned up nicely after 2 years, the other pool of blood should have been cleaned up. Maybe the pool of blood was a room decoration. After the murder, you contacted Lena at the prosecutor's office. Really tidied up the room. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lena stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Edgeworth is the one that transferred it. Everyone except me, it seems. Okay, I think he sent Edgeworth to get that screwdriver so he could sneak in the body, and then Edgeworth would just go to the parking lot unaware of his existence, right? Still, you're the chief of police. He never had to leave to move the body. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought I was a useless clue. It was a useless clue just taking up space. He's talking about the screwdriver. How would the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. Was that a screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Oh, Edgeworth. Poor Edgeworth. Now he's realizing he transferred the body himself. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here, along with Goodman's body. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Well, at least now we solved the case of the screwdriver. And I guess we're about to solve the real case that we started, with this chapter, finally. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lena Skye. Order, order, order. What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's the photo of a body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time is up. My time is up. Sorry, Raito, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? Police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away from all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lena dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete evidence. Well, Mr. Wright? Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. I can't just let him squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. They still haven't filled in the blank, even though that we know who it is now. I think we still haven't used the sparking stub. I'm going to try this. I think it's gonna fail, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, this is not the real murder weapon. And, you know, this happened around the time where Lena did stab him and make that call, right? We need to make a case that this is the actual murder weapon, and she stuffed it in the muffler. But I don't know. Did I save? Oh, I cannot save. Let's try this one. We probably will fail it, but let's try it. Okay, we failed. Okay, we failed. Maybe it's the knife that was in Edgeworth car. I can use that as the evidence. The fact that I have this attorney's badge means you're guilty. Imagine what happens if I did present this. I wonder. Should I do it for science? Maybe I should try that when I actually have a save. Ah, failed. Okay, let's try the other knife. We can be like, well, he took it out of the evidence. He stabbed Goodman with the one knife that was there in the evidence room, right? Maybe not a good stream game, but you might like the FMV game Contradiction? What kind of game is that? Okay, we are losing. When did I save? Should I try the handprint? Oh, I just saved right here, right? So if we fail... I saved on the screen. We should be fine. Let's try... I'm doing like zero thinking. I'm just trying everything in my inventory. Okay, never mind. The only last thing I'm thinking about would be the safe itself. But then I really have no choice other than to go with every single one by one. What do I have to prove? I have to prove he's the murderer without any doubt. But okay, never mind. We failed. Let's reload. It doesn't let me reload. No, it does let me reload. Okay. Let's try and actually think. Or maybe it's... I don't have proof yet and he just walks out. Jay said, screw this. Gotta catch people on lies and present items. I think I'm very bad at detecting lies. Okay, let's think. Maybe this is where we... Or meteor, look at that whoosh. This wouldn't prove he's the murderer, it just proves he was covering up the murder weapon. They don't give me the dimensions of these knives, right? Maybe Maybe it's the phone. But it doesn't tell us that. It doesn't show the history of him calling her. We open it. I don't think it's the phone. I think I need a hint. Let's try this. You gave me a hint. The screwdriver? We already used it. Okay, that failed. I'm gonna try the screwdriver again, I guess. I don't think anything I have is like 100% proof he did it. Maybe I should just go with I don't have that yet. But it most likely is just a game over, right? But let's try it. There's no harm in trying. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Aji? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? Like 5 trials, you are taught to always provide evidence, etc. But this one time is the opposite. Okay, so the second option was the correct answer. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. Would you need Lady Luck if you're innocent? Good point. Maybe I should make that objection. This is an affront to senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Edgeworth! Lady Luck! Edgeworth made your objection, Flonny. Maybe I should have a word with her. Got him. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. You haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, or more witnesses, one more witness, who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. You can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Has to be Lena, right? The defendant? Miss Lena Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task: to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in... Hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. No recess for us. Listen good, Lena. He's talking to Lena. Okay, he came to make a threat. Well, okay, I accidentally pressed that button. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Objection! This isn't good. Witness intimidation in front of a lot of witnesses. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Come on, that testimony, that stunt alone should be incriminating him. There aren't any further objections. This court is now in recess. Objection, that looked like an accident. February 25, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, pals? Detective Gumshoe? Hahaha, I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office? No way, he's gonna be my Mila. That's not gonna work. My office, sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean... Maya, not Mia, damn it. Oops. Maya. The shorty has the longer name. I need to remember that. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Time to be a pie? What does that mean? She is erasing Maya. Looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Oh, private investigator. Yes. You're right. Risks. What does he mean by that? She shrunk again. No more cleavage. Yes. We need bigger boobs, always. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Lena? Emma, she is fine. And she comes in with happy music. Okay. She's one tough girl. Are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. So she did faint, and the game didn't tell us that she fainted. Okay. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery, so she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny, I almost feel somehow relieved. She went to the medical office from fainting, came back in time for recess. Truly a high schooler. She saw you presenting that screwdriver. Relieved? Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything that Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. So because I murdered Mr. Marshall, you didn't murder him, you were trying to save somebody. Don't go blaming yourself now. If anybody should be accused of this murder, it would be Gant. Like, why does he have an actual weapon in his office as a decoration? That's his fault. If you want to blame anyone, blame society. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Phoenix is no help. What the hell? Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. We're gonna need her to actually convince Lena to say what really happened. I want to be there when Lena tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this. To be continued. Ooh. Okay. This means there's still a lot to go. Hopefully I have enough time to finish, because today I actually need to cook for lunch. It's gonna be alright. February 25, 2:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. After this recess is the final section. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's like enough time to actually go through this whole section. We'll see. We still have time, right? Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lena Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lena Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lena, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Testify every single day for the last 2 years in vivid detail. Oh my god. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lena, if this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She is not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. You spin me right around. Like a court record. Okay, that was funny. The defense may now begin a cross-examination. No. Don't spin me right round. Damn it. I'm gonna pick my nose. Can I do it? Where do I put my hand? Oh my god. This big head is just too funny for me. Maybe I should make the... Whoa! It landed on the little thing. The standing up piece of hair. Can I do my ear? No. Oh my god. I don't think I can... Yeah. Sorry, I know this is disgusting, but it's funny for me. The defense may now begin a cross-examination. Can I... I can fix my hair. Look at that. I actually can move it. Can I do it when my head is small? I cannot do it when my head is small. Maybe I can play with my ponytail too. That would be fun. I'll try it next time. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Whoops, I forgot to press. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then. So that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why there's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lena, so that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago? When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that? If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Oh, just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is all what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's body, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with him. Okay, let's press her on this one. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Maybe we can present the jar with Emma's name on it right here, but let's see what happens when we press. So you arranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, As a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister is lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lena to talk more. If she is lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. He said there is a contradiction right here. But I feel it makes more sense to present the jar with the name right here. Okay, we failed. Let me see what she said again. The wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. Let's think about what she's trying to do. She's not disputing the fact that Marshall was killed by the spear, but she wants to say that Emma wasn't the one who pushed it into the spear. It was Dark who did it. But there was no, it wasn't incriminating evidence, because just the same way it would be like, oh, it was self-defense or something. So she needed to plant Dark's knife in him. But the jar spoiled her plans. Why did this jar spoil her plans? I mean, she erased the name, so she's like, she could cover up Emma's involvement that way. But maybe seeing the jar broken next to them could easily suggest that, you know, he was killed by accident by Dark instead of, you know, intentionally. How often are we gonna see Neil get poked today? So, what should I be presenting? Maybe this is where I present the jar, but maybe there's more to it. Should I present the cloth? Let's try the jar first. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that's true, if that truth were to be exposed, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Oh. Now I get it. I was like, what? Why? How did he manage to put her name on, like, connected perfectly when it's broken? But now I get it. He wrote it before it fell. And then it fell, and then Emma saw the shadow that looks like the blue badger. Ah. He wouldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. He couldn't. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Okay, so she missed one piece with the partial M, right? You mean you're the one who wiped away the message in blood? There was a line that auto skipped on its own and I did not see it, but I guess it's not important. I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. So the jar was already broken? It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Hey! But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lena, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you would lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. Yeah, he would have wrote Dark's name on it. What else could I have done in this situation? Lena, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with all the power out? With the power out, it could have been pitch black in the office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. Emergency. What did I read that as? Emergency. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. No, you didn't. You missed one. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lena. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident, no doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister is really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I've finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. What else do I present and where? When do I use this damn piece of cloth? I mean, if this is proof of anything, I would think it's her pushing Marshall onto the spear, onto the armor. And then this piece was cut out of his vest, maybe? Do I just keep presenting this stupid jar? And I'm gonna be like, well, you missed one piece. That was it, okay. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Missed one piece. You'll never be the Pirate King now. What? One Piece. Oh, the anime, right? Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up to the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? He's calling himself an ace judge. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? Oh, so it wasn't an accident. The jar didn't fall. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lena Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason why Miss Skye became Chief's puppet. Ow! There was blood coming out of her thumb. I didn't do it on my own. I did do it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. What? When did I ever do that? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lena, maybe you're right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I don't remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify. About what I really saw. The witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene. For real, for real. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. She always has a camera. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? I don't remember what she gave me this morning, but I think... okay. Let her talk. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. She didn't give me a picture. I thought it might be needed. Is it in here? Did she stuff it in here? But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lena must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright, please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any picture from Lena. But that's the only thing I can think of, that book. I seem to remember getting something from her then. I don't remember when she gave me this. And I don't remember how I got this. And this... was this in the morning or was it in the afternoon? Damn it. Ah. Oh, they're letting me check it now. Okay. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detectives saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Objection! What's up, Soren? How are you? I guess you're having your lunch break now? Poor Neil, can't catch a break. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Meteor. Yeah, I asked before the discharge. Nice. Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with that cross-examination. Last week I couldn't have lunch because the discharge, yeah. They really need to make sure everybody gets their lunch, otherwise they should be getting in legal trouble. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. The question is, how did that piece fall out then? I thought that, like, maybe she cut it out, but she actually took a picture of it already cut out. Or maybe that was part of her, like, hiding the evidence? I don't know. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body. Oh, wait, who did this hold it? Oh man, he's back from lunch already. Come now, Oji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I would like to put in a word or two in my defense. No, you withdrew your right for that. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Edgeworth to the rescue again. Where's... I need to turn the fan on, it's getting too hot in here. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh my god, he goes monster mode again. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Raito? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? What the? I saw that creeper and then I was like, where is it? And then when I let my guard down, it was there. What the hell? Is it bugged? It went so fast too. That was the shortest ragdoll I've ever seen. Time to reroll the update. You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? I think we should present that piece of evidence because we already tricked Lena into saying the truth about Gant being there to help her with the cover-up, right? And the way we convinced her to do that was by telling her, oh, we can actually clear Emma's name. But we lied, just like she told us. We lied about that, and now we present it. Because we already know that Gant. We already have proof he helped her. She testified. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. Alright, the time's finally come to show it to them. I wonder if Emma is gonna be silently fainting and going to the to the medical office or wherever again, without them making any sound. Those prints have got to be the chief's. No, they're Emma's. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Actually, let me take a look at this really quick. It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Raido has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's, Miss Emma Sky's. What? They're mine. So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Is it possible that he made this? I guess it is. Maybe Emma didn't do it after all. But then why would he cut it out and hide it if it would be conclusive evidence that would protect him? Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. But I had to. I failed? It appears we have our killer. No. It was a game over. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lena alone was found guilty on all counts. Okay, fine. We will get investigated by the Committee of Inquiries. Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant. You opened my safe. I knew you took what was inside. Okay. Now I see how this works. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. And now we can say, well, you just said you had it in your safe, right? So we end up presenting it anyway. Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it has been cut out for some reason. I wouldn't call that the chest area. It's more of the stomach area. And then there was Elena saying she stabbed Goodman in the stomach, and now I'm wondering, maybe there were some mistakes in translation. Sometimes they call it chest, sometimes they call it stomach. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rido. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I thought he lost his right to testify. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lena. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lena. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in my victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lena arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I had the most legible part of the Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. I did expect. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? He does have a point. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? The piece of cloth I didn't want to show. Cough it up already, Rido. I know you have it. I want that Pokemon too. What are you waiting for, Mr. Knight? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Guilty. What's up, Lim? How are you? Welcome. Well, Mr. Wright? Okay, I did want to see if I can touch my... Damn it. My ponytail if my head is big. But the camera hasn't seen it as behind my head. Damn it. I cannot reach far enough for this big head. Never mind. Maybe if I I cannot turn and see what I'm doing. Ah. Okay, never mind. I give up. I can only touch my thanks. Soren guilty. I'm guilty. What's going on here? Squid guilty choose. Everybody, best redeem. Thank you. It was one of the recent updates, and there's already a new update, but I haven't looked into it yet. It bothers me that every single update you have to like, it doesn't like overwrite the previous installation. It's just its own different installation, and I have to move everything over to it and change all the shortcuts and all of that. So a bit lazy on updating VTuber Plus. No. Hello. It would have been funnier if my eyes and mouth are frozen when I'm frozen, you know? What do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rido. You should have shown it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Okay, maybe this time we present it for real. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at least you finally brought it into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Ho. You're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it, how could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Yeah, I tricked you. You called me liar, I had to be a liar. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. He sees something that I don't see. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Is it possibly just, doesn't match the shape of the hole? Maybe? I mean, that doesn't look square, right? But then how did he get this piece of cloth? From where? Maybe it's something else. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. And what exactly is that supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It was already cut out. There is blood underneath it. It's hard to make out with all the blood on the vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. And there's no blood on the piece of cloth that we do have. His lungs were no doubt punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth... Wait, there's no blood on it. Since Emma Skye fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at the time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lena Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? What is his motive for killing him? It wasn't just a cover-up of an accident. He actually wanted him dead. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lena believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only a moment ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, You proved that you were the actual murderer. Okay, so I was wrong about the shape not matching. It was the blood. But at least I lucked out in presenting the correct evidence. It's finally all over. Objection? Who? He's crying. Ho ho ho. That was close, Rido. You almost had me. You look like you're very had. So, sorry. But you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, Rido here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rido? Why do you have you do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? I can say that I didn't show it because I knew it was not presentable in court. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. He was very careful in his choice of words. What the hell? Phoenix is playing, I don't know, chess? He's 100 steps ahead of Gant. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laughs is on you, son. I think it's time to present that book. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of evidence? I'm gonna say I did not. Let's save. I could not present it at that time. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. I'm using his trick against him. He's nothing but a coward you can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? It was illegal at first, and then it was legal after the chief police himself told me to present it. He gave me the approval. He gave me the approval, rule number 1. And rule number 2, yes, it is relevant to the case on trial. So it became legal after he gave me the permission to present it, right? Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, At that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Wait, I got the wrong rule. Fine. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without approval of the police department. I found this piece of the evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have the approval from the police department. Did I read it wrong? I thought he said rule number 2, not rule number 1. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Ah, yes. No. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have got this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there is only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer, was you. Okay, he's going crazy. He's gonna fall and faint. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good for nothing's come. Why are you spinning me? For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigations, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all of this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. But what was his motive for killing Marshall's brother? That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble on it, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. I don't understand the handprint. Why was it already there? This case is too complex for my brain. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it, you and me. We're the same. No, you're disgusting. Edgeworth would never do what you did. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. But why did he kill Neil Marshall? What was his motive? It made more sense when he was trying to cover up an accident in order to control Lena. Or was his motive just to control her by framing Emma? And then he had that insurance in case it does get investigated and he's like, no, I didn't do it, it was Emma. Maybe. Oh, man. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Audrey. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Audrey. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Raido here. And Worthy. With those two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of what? I couldn't read that. There are two things I want to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Of a new beginning. Okay, thank you. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh, that was a cute look. She smiles, look at that. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have these past 2 days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. Oh, he's so cute. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact that you still acted on as his accomplice, a trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Nice. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lena Sky, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. Finally, what a case. February 25, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have these past few days. You've done well. It's finally over. Then she asks Wright for the future trials as well. You know, I did my best too. Oh, she's jealous. But Lena didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. You're always interrupting, Gumshoe, but you're always welcome. Oh. Yes, I am. I'll come back later. Wait, come back. What is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? I guess she sent him on another errand under my name, and maybe she's bringing something as a praise for her sister, I hope. Gumshoe is really stuck to you like a gum under your shoe. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. He brought her, personally. Lena. Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. I thought he was fired. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago, it was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Can't fire him twice. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. The murder was fired twice. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you would react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you didn't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you would come back. And now you have. Look at that. She has a really nice smile. Oh, that's cute. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. She still hasn't thanked her sister. She's gonna get more jealous. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Oh my god, he's stalking us. He's just eavesdropping. Stop hiding and come over here. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, well, I'll be going now. Oh no, he's too cute. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No, don't bring a downer on this. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. You're not gonna correct them by resigning, bro. Mr. Edgeworth? Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. I need to make an objection right here, what? One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring down once you try to go it alone, to bring them down. Oh my god, I cannot read. I don't despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I would need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth? Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. Of course he hates criminals. He keeps getting involved in crimes. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Can you at least become a defense attorney? Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I would need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. I am his weapon. Hee hee. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Phoenix is just, what's the word? Spacing out there. Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lena is talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I guess it would be this, right? I hope I don't mess this up. That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership. Huh? Mr. Wright. It seems you still have a lot to learn as well. No, give me another chance. No, I messed up. No. When did I last save? Oh man. Maybe I should have presented this one. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care. No. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. No, we must... Oh, we got the bad ending. Should I just reload here? What was I supposed to present? Damn it. Okay. Why didn't I save after this? Damn it. I should have washed the vegetables before stream so I have time to actually extend the stream if needed, like what's happening right now. It's okay, it's okay. I can work faster. I can work faster. Maybe my dad is gonna be stuck in traffic. That happens often. Oh, I hope my dad gets stuck in traffic. Why is my mouth moving? Is this because I'm button mashing the A button? There has to be a quicker way to skip this. I don't want Edgeworth to resign. Okay. Let's make sure we at least save after this. And then if we get another save right before the question, that would be great. I think this is when... No, we're not there yet. Okay. But he will soon tell Edgy... Worthy... to come out of hiding, right? And then I'll try another save there. Okay, there he is. Save it. This might be it, right? I guess I was spacing out just like Phoenix. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that. Please be the evidence law. No. Okay, that wasn't it. What is it? Maybe it's my badge. Maybe the accidental click was the right click. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Doesn't make sense to use the badge. Do you want the answer? Maybe. Because... or at least if you know a hint. Because the only things that I can think of that we needed to work on together, we wouldn't have been able to find on our own would be this piece of cloth, or using the evidence law to prove it. We were working together there. The hint is meta? Damn it. Yeah, just give me the answer. I give up. I really need to be starting to wash the vegetables right now and cooking. Just need some kind of evidence. Oh, the evidence list. Like that? That's the picture I drew. Well, I guess he had one half of it and I had the other half, so I guess it makes sense. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Hopefully he doesn't say farewell this time. Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. No. Okay, so we wasted our time. There is only one ending. Whether or not we did show the correct evidence. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to do, to learn, and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation for dummies, or for duckies, I guess. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Now sit back as you enjoy the ending. At some point, you are given an opportunity to show something, evidence that neither Edgeworth nor Phoenix would have found on their own. Present the evidence list, and when given the chance, yell objection. I didn't have a chance to yell objection. Did I not see the button to do it? And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Did I mess it up, Flonnie? Because I want to know if I need to reload right now. I'm really running out of time. Faith and that their lives have only just begun. You have no idea? Just a text guide, no worries. As for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't get trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. He gave away the $50 he got from Gant. Is he going to waste away for months again, not taking on new cases? I think he's going to resign. He already had some draft of a resignation letter. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. He used me to bribe. What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. I didn't say yes. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection? Well, I guess we get credits now. I hope she'll be pleased to study in under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. During the credits, you'll notice the green grid is on the touchscreen. However, instead of finding fingerprints, you'll find pictures. After the credits, you are given another book to check. Examine the back cover for a cute photo. Congratulations, you have just completed Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. That's on the DS version. Oh my, I missed what Gumshoe was saying. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. I guess they rehired him, right? My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. We never figured out why there was blood on the cactus. Someday I'm going to... Well, yes sir, I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. That's who he looks up to. feel like the colors got faded. He died. Imagine if they had the Blue Badger music instead of this music in the credits. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch? Miss Star managed to sneak this to... It's too quick. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. Why was there a pause? Put some meal on the menu, the right way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout thing. It's a hot seller. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? No. Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to. I'd better be... Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Well, now we know what the streamers... the judge streamer chair looks like. Maya! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. I still can't go back until I'm full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya afternoon training is about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. I called her the right name. He still has the trophy there. Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? I brought your tea. No, it's the resignation letter. What's going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Elena, all I have to do is open this book. Okay. Guess this is what you were referring to. That's very cute. Okay, that was the end of the game. I really better run and start cooking. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate you. I am sad that I probably didn't get the right answer with Edgeworth. Maybe I will check it out later in my own time. Jay switches games to Cooking Mama. Yeah. Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Thank you, Flonnie, for the help. I will be back tomorrow with Ship of Falls with Soren. The big head. Yes. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I guess Thursday for Yooka-Laylee. And have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye. No! You almost caught me while I had my hand up. Nice try, though. Bye.